Welcome to Quebec City, certainly one of North America's most charming and most European cities. We're going to spend several days here exploring the cafes, the shops, the restaurants, and just soaking in all this beautiful European atmosphere. Now, I came here 30 years ago to shoot a story for National Geographic Traveler, and this is one of the few places I've been back to after all that time that has actually improved and not degraded with age. So that's saying something. Well, stick with us, because this is like going to Montmartre without having to board an airplane. Now, one of the first things I like to do when I get into a new city is to take one of those double-decker open-top bus tours. It helps you get oriented. This is Grande Allée. By day, it's cafes and patios, and by night, it flips into one long stretch of restaurants, bars, and clubs. If you're looking for energy, this is where it lives. That's the Parliament building of Quebec, home to the province's National Assembly. Across from Parliament is Fontaine de Tourny, a striking work presented to the city by the famous Quebec department store La Maison Simon. And then there's Avenue Cartier, right in the heart of the Arts District. Those oversized lampshades strung overhead, they're inspired by Quebec's winter carnival traditions. This looks like a peaceful park now, but in 1759, this was the site of the Battle of the Plains of Abraham. British and French forces clashing for control of New France. And in a matter of minutes, the outcome shifted the balance of power in North America. Now, these days, there are no skirmishes on the Plains of Abraham between the French and the British. But just up the hill is La Citadelle de Quebec, still an active military base. After that great orientation, it's time to head off on foot. I'm starting up here on the Dufferin Terrace, kind of the front porch of Quebec City. You've got Samuel de Champlain and the Chateau Frontenac watching over everything. Now, to get down to the lower town, you can take the stairs, or do what I'm doing. Jump on the old Quebec funicular. Same view, much easier on the knees. And just like that, you're in the lower city, wandering through Quartier Petit Champlain. Cobblestones, little boutiques, cafes. This might be the most charming shopping street on the continent. But, as the Canadians like to remind us, not everything is for sale. We can learn a lot from Canada. And if you see someone pouring hot maple syrup onto snow or ice, stop. That's maple taffy. They roll it onto a stick and hand it to you. And oh yeah, nobody should leave this area without trying one. The Notre de Quebec Basilica is very demure from the outside. But step inside, and it opens up into a sweep of gold, carved detail, and an ornate ceiling that pulls your eyes straight upward. Dating back to the 1600s, it's one of the oldest churches in North America. And after fires and rebuilds, what you see today is layer upon layer of history, polished into something quiet and spectacular, but not without a lot of work and attention. Some of these buildings aren't buildings at all, just insanely good murals that mess with your sense of reality. Many of them are by a local collective called Cité Création, working with Quebec artists to turn blank walls into giant storytelling canvases layering in centuries of history, local characters, and even little visual jokes if you look closely enough. Now, one of the most interesting and inexpensive things you can do here is to take the ferry across to Lévis and back. It really gives you a great perspective on the mighty St. Lawrence River, and it gives you some great angles on the Quebec skyline. Now, I recommend doing this in the morning when the light is hitting the city in the right way. In the afternoon, the whole thing is backlit and it just becomes a silhouette. Now, if you've got the energy for it, take a tripod and your longest lens and get back on the ferry at sunset and go over and shoot twilight from Lévis. It is spectacular and worth the effort. Now, it's been my experience over my career that shooting twilight is always worth the effort. If you're really looking to capture the feel of these charming little narrow alleyways, go at blue hour, that half hour or so after sunset. That's when the lights in the shops come on, and it really gives great atmosphere to these little French alleyways. So blue hour, it's really necessary if you're going to be photographing Quebec City and you want to get that old world feel. If all this seems like a lot of work for your photography, keep in mind that twilight only lasts about 30 or 45 minutes. And you can do what I do. As soon as the sky gets black, I seek out a nice little bistro and have a great French-inspired meal. Beyond the cafes and the cobblestones, Quebec City has a serious cultural side, one that's worth slowing down for. Now, I found the Museum of Civilization to be particularly fascinating. The museum collections include artifacts related to art, society, and ethnography. There are over 225,000 objects in the collection, many of which relate to the First Nations. One exhibit dives into the dynamics of crowds and democracy, how people move, gather, protest, and shape history together. Quebec is known for its demonstrations, and they'll take to the streets the minute they detect anything undemocratic going on. So that was fascinating, especially in this day and age. The Morrin Centre has lived a few lives. It started as a prison. And you can still tour the old jail cells downstairs and get a first-hand appreciation of what dark and dank really means. If you're claustrophobic or afraid of the dark, you may want to sit out this part of the tour. Later, it became a college that, notably for its time, actually admitted women. And today, it's a cultural hub with one of the most beautiful historic libraries in the city. Now, a hotel is not usually considered a cultural institution, but so important is the Chateau Frontenac to the city's ongoing history that I think it qualifies. And touring the historic chateau with a guide in period costume and an experienced line of patter is a real hoot. The Chateau Frontenac was built as a grand railway hotel. It opened on December 11th, 1893, and since then, it's been hosting everyone from world leaders to movie stars. It's a bit of a tough tour for photographers, though, because you can only take pictures in certain designated places. But it's still well worth the insider's view. It was our last night in Quebec City, and we decided to just hang out and listen to a jazz trio at our hotel bar. and grab some appetizers like oysters and foie gras. And just enjoy our window seat overlooking the old town. Ah, Quebec City, je reviens bientôt.